So I'm gonna full speed send it, but where are they opting to stop? You see the mat. I think he hurt them holding up in his position, and unluckily for him, the Coop doesn't accelerate all that great in the dirt, but is able to get out of there. But I think he's running from one kind of trouble. Yeah, straight into the other as the vehicle blows up. Natus gets the knock, but Schiller there for the kill. They're gonna drive forward. So Entropiq, a little bit of a task at hand, trying to deal with the players down below. As you can see here, the vehicles are allowing for some angles to be utilized, but not a whole lot. But these nades, if Nailup gets just one in here, that could be a whole team. Why would I say that? One confirmed, two more down. Aspiro now forced to run off. He almost got the last one as well. Aspiro is down to really low HP.
Now, Entropiq may struggle to close the gap to get to PGS2, but by God, they're going to give Twisted Minds the experience. They're going to say, you want to play a dip, get used to the bomber, because it is coming. One grenade takes out a player completely and knocks two more. And Twisted Minds, that 10 kill plus game you were talking about, usually comes when they get some kills on the board in the early phase. That is a pipe dream now.
Yeah, not looking optimal, not looking good at all. And for Entropiq, couldn't be any better. Now they're set on the northern side here, and the fact that they get to wound so many different teams from this position is huge, because not only obviously do they get kills on players, but they also get a lot of info on who are the teams around them. So now found kills on both Twisted Minds and Moo is a great start for them.
But again, it's another opportunity for a high ground position from Acend. Not quite as easy to free farm from this position as it is from Observatory, but it's still a very solid one that they can look to defend and have another grand game.
Definitely. FaZe trying to make the push on through as they get shot by the last players from Twisted Minds, but they also quickly learn that there are indeed players up above trying to deal with them, and that being Acend, of course. But teams does fall at the end of that rotation. Yeah, good thing for Acend that Melman just got knocked by Ali. I think he stepped right in front of Ali when he was shooting. So that's going to slow the Navi push down a bit. But it is a little worrying that Brexco is currently looking so much circle center when they're fully aware that there's a Navi team pushing up behind him. Again, Twisted Minds in trouble. This position's, it's not optimal for them at all. And again, as well, it's DA able to apply the pressure.
Again, Lyron overwatching from a distance, just giving the information over to the squad, letting them know where they need to peek the angles, throw the grenades, and Brex is just under no pressure at all. He's over here solo. The rest of his squad is looking over towards the west, where Navi is still trying to deal with the rest of Exalt, and Brex is just farming the rest of the lobby while he's got the chance to do so.
High ground frag master Brex is on it once more. Again, as you were saying earlier, bringing us back to observatory games on ERANGEL down on the Millie Island. It's just what Acend likes to do, and you know what? Why not like to do it when it didn't show as many points as it has been here?
FaZe finally starting to get some ground back in the battle for the low ground, but it's a grenade onto Metralius that I don't think Corexy's going to have really much of a chance to try and secure a flush unless he has more grenades, because again, as soon as he steps out of that shack, he is in real danger. Just as much danger as AfterAlt, as they unfortunately rotate into the dip that's already occupied by Sarvam, and that does not go very well for them at all.
Circle swings off the mountain down towards the east. Question mark sat dead center. And then foot down on the southern side. They will be able to sit around for a little while longer. And still, all these teams in the field having to try not just touch and weave each other, but also Acend that are still peppering them from above. Or Brexco, I should say, shooting from up high, because it really is him doing all the third partying here.
He really is that guy in this game, but unfortunately it's resulted in no kills. Either they've all been revived or stolen away. And so Acend have actually found themselves with the competition creeping ever closer to them, but they've still got plenty of time to get some placement points on the board, and an angle for Spyro through the window might get some extra damage in. Oh, okay. If that was a headshot, he might have been in real trouble, but Brexco's already on 600 damage.
And 0 kills. That is, I guess that's what you get sometimes when there's too much distance to the knocks you're finding, or when it's players in a shack that peeks a window, and when they get knocked, they fall back down again. In any case, a lot of damage being done by Brex, a lot of vests and helmets broken, which, of course, in the end, will just make it that much easier for them come the later and most likely up-close fights we'll have to take.
Actually, a grenade from Metabay as Yeppa have finally made a bit of an entrance. They've been holding down the concrete just to the north of Acend for a while and finally started to poke their head out from the tortoise's shell and see what they can find. And in front of them, they've got multiple players in dips that they can maybe get angles. The branch is just blocking Global Army from getting the last shot on Spyro. Never mind. The headshot comes through. The MK12 gets it done for Global Army. And finally, I mean, you've got 500,000 people shooting at you. One of them had to hit the headshot.
I feel like Yeppa's chance to go aggressive here is, I mean, dwindling by this second. And of course it is Acend to have to come out of the compound, so it makes sense that they'll wait for them at least for a little while longer as EB goes for some aggressive shots forward. Not really a whole lot to gain, but does give a point away to Sabim, so they'll say thanks for that. In the meantime, Odin peeks on over, finds Chris. HOWL falls, but not really expecting too much from HOWL, as they're currently still sat down in 12.
Fortunately for Ruin, it was about 7 players combined from Monarch and Question Mark that were shooting him as he crossed the road. Eventually, he was always going to go down. Phil first, still putting more on the board for Question Mark. He's the top fragger in the lobby so far. Still cracked since, you know, the latter half of the previous year was when we really burst onto the scene and had a huge impact for Question Mark. Odin Mavisi gets it done for Yeppa. Brixco, as much as he's been farming, he did not get the points to match. Only a single kill on the board for Acend. 1 point from the position that they had. It's very, very unfortunate.
It sure is. They might be one of the top 3 damage-dealing teams of this game. But Uber, mid-air, finds Molodog. We'll see if he can get more with it. Now as Fate, surprised by the jump down from up high. Elman does bleed out. There's still 2 players above in Uber. Oh, he's not aware. He's there, but swings on him. Oh my lord, it's actually Alia. It's actually Alia that gets the kill, but holy moly. Navi, when no other options present themselves, jump down and take him out mid-air.
Yeppa has higher ground, but much less of it, and much more exposed to the angles from down south. But somewhat of a split along a couple of ridges, and Global Army's just going to send it in classic Sarvam fashion. This is normally what happens when they don't have a central position, but thankfully it's at least got them some points on the board, but FUT will happily take those as well. But FUT has some of their own. They got some good damage with a grenade onto Mauser. Got to make this push happen pretty quickly because the zone is about to start moving.
Yeah, there was a lot of smokes on the building just before. I'm curious if that was FUT smokes or if it was Monarch smokes. If it was Monarch smokes, I'm surprised they didn't opt to make a play earlier, especially with the FUT player knock. But now they have to come out, and the time might just have gone out for them to make a play here. We'll see. The fight up close would have to happen eventually. 8 goes down again. I mean, Example has a perfect angle on this, but we're not seeing any Navi names in the kill feed right now.
It's good to see that they're not picking and choosing sides. They'll just fire at anyone they can see, but not able to get any of those pickoffs on the board. Actually, Yeppa did steal one, but that's given away their position, and Phil first is going to look down with a 3x spray and a grenade to follow it up after he softened them up. Voldemort, so damn close, but the blue zone won't be enough.
This game here is one where everyone can third-party each other. It's really just a matter of picking and choosing who you want to shoot at. Navi falls instantly after Monarch goes out as well. FUT alive. Yeppa down to 1. No, scratch that out as well. As Question Mark up now with 10 kills, all 4 alive still, going up against a very bruised FUT Esports. Can they just get that opener? There might be a chance. T-Bone, Steam by best of luck, sprays on through, nothing connects, but look at the amount of blue damage coming through with every single tick. As the first 2 falls, now it's just Vart left alive. Do you deny here? You might just, but no, not gonna happen. Peeks over, finds 1, can't get the plus show, and that is Question Mark. 13 points, and a win is gonna push them into first. Should be able to get the safety. Issue is there's a car coming for him, and oh my lord, they're dodging and weaving, but here he is, Marco, with the AK in hand. I know that I know that the bike dodges fire, but it does not dodge bullets. Can I also mention how I love the variety of the circle we're getting here? It's it's oh no, really? Yep, James finds 8. See, that's whenever you have circles that force a bit of variety, you see one team do something else. Now we do have Entropiq in the nearby vicinity coming down to say hello, but I'm not sure. Yep, okay, never mind. This is a proper fight, and Nail Up is going to be able to find the first.
Not a friendly hello. Definitely not rolled out the red carpet for them, but Keanu is there to trade the knock onto Nixie. They're a little bit surrounded right now. Mexi is on the southern side, but the backup is inbound. Ivas looking to try and find a way around, just checking the flank is secure before he commits to either a push or the revive.
Yeah, and they don't have Lookaroks nearby either. He's on the far hill towards the southeast, so they really do need to do this outnumbered.
It just put a hefty chunk of damage into Ibby. Some range. He's going to be forced to step back into a heal for now. Once again, you start hearing the gunshots from any range. There's always going to be temptation in the back of your mind to look for a pull-up, but HOWL and DA are the teams closest to this. They're circling one another, so it looks like this is going to be an isolated fight for now. Can't do much more than just drive in a straight line, but that's enough to break the line of sight from Ibby up on the church roof, and maybe give him a little bit of a potential to find another angle, but it won't do much against the rest of WU. Mexi will get that done himself with a quick peek through onto Quizzy, and he has now given Entropiq the numbers advantage in the compound once again.
Yeah. Nail up, though. Instantly there to respond as... Nail up Sarkiano. Instantly there to respond as Nail up falls. They will also commit to the rest as fast as possible to make sure that WU don't get anything off the knock. They do have one down themselves as... actually, we need to kill. Sure.
Cino going for the revive. It should be game over for the WU. It's at least game over for Quizzy, and Ibby just has to turn tail and run. There's very little that he was able to do from that position once that grenade was in the hand of Mexi starting to be cooked, and I don't think there's much more he can do about this push either.
Yeah, 1v3. Let's see if he can pull it off. Does find the first one. Skyrl ain't always the best cover. Finds the second as well. He knows that there's one isolated, but Mexi just in time swings in, finds him. And Entropiq gets the lip with the scare.
The fact that AfterAlt are still so widely split, with Danimon probably doing wheelies on top of the mountain far north, means they're not going to overcommit to the fight, and Navi get away with it. Laza, though, you cannot get away with rotating in a buggy through a field like this. Unfortunately, Albo will sit him down.
Exactly. So many of these teams just opting to send it straight through the middle. Again, pretty much everyone expecting this one's a hard shift towards the west in just a second. And now Sabim up close with Entropiq. They've already taken down an entire team without taking any casualties, but this time around there are multiple people on the front. Chilla finds one, CC finds one as well. They have lost Global Army in return, but a lot of damage coming out right away. Yeah, I'm looking towards Twisted Minds on the south side of all of these fights going on right now. If they opt to go up the mountain this way, it's going to be very dangerous for them. Acend trying to fly on in. Not exactly easy as Killer Kai gets torn apart. I'm not sure if he was jumping up for information or what it was, but he sure as hell did not live to see the landing.
I love that death cam right up in the air, just floating. But, oh man, that's very unfortunate for Killer Kai.
Ooh. Breck's able to find the first. Marco able to respond. Nice little 1-1 coming in the end. Working in favor for DA again. Yes, they lose one player, but traversing straight across the center of the circle here is, if you can do that, losing only one player, kind of have to go with.
Exalt once again removed from the lobby. They were trying to make a push in the south, but cleaned up by Monarch. And now the full push in the compound from FaZe. They've got plenty of smokes up, and Navi have actually leapfrogged ahead of them into the zone, so they can take this fight in earnest all by itself. Isolated Corexi needs to check the corner. Fex will do it for him. Hyena, wow, they cleared out the shack with the Molotov. They knew that he couldn't be peeking from inside, so just a little pre-fire is sometimes all it takes.
And it has to include a vehicle, you'd imagine. With both FUT and Twisted Minds being able to see them, you'd imagine that it has to have cars involved one way or another. And here they come flying down the hill. Do they get anything with it? Example able to find the first. Team does get one in return, but Example finds the second instantly after a nice peek. There's Uber trying to bait some of the attention, trying to force them to look his direction, but not really happening. Fex sharing the vehicle with Navi for a split second, and in the end, they will fall.
5 points on the board, 2 still standing, and FaZe eliminated on just shy of 100 points.
Yep. Let's go. Nice double coming through for him. Mouse finding the third. A lot of skill on this team, and they made that one look easy.
Oh man, that is rough position. You almost got him. They're eventually going to find him one way or the other, whether it's him that sits them down or them that accidentally run him over. But Chris, he just has to be patient now. No chance to be patient for Navi. The push was forced. Oh, they got him.
There's no way he knew. Like, they had literally driven back and forth for so long, and then they get them in the end. That must have been so random. They were driving around forever looking for somewhere to go. And in the end, well, there are only so many bushes for Chris to hide in.
You hear the splat and you think, wait, was that a bug? Did I just run over one of my teammates? See a kill on the scoreboard? Well, yeah, you know what? They will absolutely take it. Every point is, well, every point's a point. So
yeah.
Question mark, just extending their lead at the top, giving themselves a much better chance. FUT have to give themselves a chance to get through Twisted Minds if they even want a chance to make it into the top 2, but they're not a million miles away. But Lou just expands that distance and even denies the point from the bleed out of Perfectix, getting the hand on the res just in time.
That's what I say to people playing mini over SKS as well. It's people are crazy, you know?
Oh, look at Rooks.
Finds one, but ain't gonna be enough. He's gonna fall down in the end, and Twisted Minds continue to rack up points.
You don't get to change the reticle on an 8x. Spyro sees no reason to do so regardless. The boom caught in the open field. There is a smoke just next to him, but it's not close enough. Just trying to wrap around, trying to find a sneaky angle onto Monarch, but gets sat from the opposite side of the zone. And now that's going to mark the demise of Exhalation, surely down to just one standing. Howl might even fall before they do. If they're lucky, they might get the extra placement point. And it is just down to Mr. Circle Reticle. There's a circle in his shack. It's an explosive one from Phil First. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the amount of times that we've praised a doozy for his in-game knowledge and his mind, his passion about the game. You put cracked fraggers on a team with something like that, it's going to be a recipe for success. And hitting the headshots on a moving vehicle, that's going to be pretty successful too. Twisted Minds, thank you very much. They will claim their 11th kill of the game. Monarch down and out, and it's just going to be a brawl for the top 2 positions. Question mark could really solidify their spot here.
Again, as we said before, Question mark hadn't really had to endure too much in this game, whereas Twisted Minds, they've been fighting for the last 15 minutes straight. So very bruised for sure. You saw Batoons without a vest on as well. No helmet for him either now. So definitely against the odds here in this fight. Also now knowing that they have to wrap down the other side of the hill.
Yeah. Perfectix is leading the way for that. It's Phil First who's actually the anchor. Maybe not the player who you would expect to be filling that role. You'd want him up close and personal, getting the sprays down, but Besto's doing a good enough job of that. A doozy is there as well for the double peak, and Twisted Minds picked apart swiftly and left down to Perfectix as the last man standing. And as we've already found out, hiding in a bush from QM does not work.
Nope, sure doesn't. They'll find you eventually, as Perfectix tries to bandage his way to safety. Again, they don't have a whole lot to lose against these guys, but even with that, trying to run away from it, not gonna happen. Dante finds him, and that is going to be Question mark back-to-back to start off the last day of these finals.
45 points. We said that they had an easy time getting into the zone, but it's what you do with that presence, and Exalt have just gone for the closest compound. They seem to have identified that there are threats abound, threats present. Oh, but Exhalation didn't identify that for themselves. They tried to just make a full send across the bridge. They've been completely demolished. The Woo, Ibiza or not, they didn't need him. They've taken 3 down immediately, and the grenade from Nixie gets the final one, and Ibby did in fact contribute on the opposite side of the bridge. So that is a huge cleanup, and unfortunately for Exhalation, their TAEGO is over before it even started.
And huge for FUT that they get to kind of dodge out of that one, because that could easily have been them. But the good thing for them is that Wu weren't exactly in a position to take that fight altogether. Now Corexi out of the side he goes. Spots Fate, doesn't connect with the first one, as he will get knocked. No flash come through just yet, as FaZe is still a little bit isolated from one another.
Fate really bringing the pump out to play now. And all's left on the line. Okay, that's a bit ambitious to go for the pump from that range. That's more like it. Get it done with the AUG 3x from distance, but FaZe, oh my, looks like they may well be getting denied their triple-digit points yet again.
Yeah, not able to get anything going there, and of all the teams to take him out, the team currently sat in last place. Not something you'd be expecting, but making it happen, making it work. We are seeing a bit of I'm not sure if it's desync or what it is on the server. I hope it's just for the observers and not for the players as well, because they are rubber banding a little bit all over the place.
Acend toying with the idea of committing to this and taking the fight, but given their position in the standings and the fact that they're less than 15 points behind against Sarvam and with them a spot at PGS 2, thinking better of it, they're going to try and take the more conservative option. This was the problem for Acend. the way that they wouldn't be able to make the wide of a wrap as they normally would. This is also a big problem for Yeppa, as the 2-2 split they were holding as they're putting the shots in towards HOWL has alerted everyone to their presence. Exalt found the other half of the split, and they've just been completely demolished.
I mean, we asked yesterday if since Exalt did finally get things going for them in the final match of lower bracket, of when do they need to finally get things going for them in order to qualify. I think it was yesterday, the answer to that question, but you know what? If they can get like 4 wins in a row now and somehow qualify for PGS too, that'd be one of the best comebacks in PUBG history, so that'd be interesting.
I think it would overwrite every other comeback that's ever existed. From 16th place to top 2, are you serious? No, but honestly, for Exalt, again, they've done so well for everything else this year. Every single point that they can climb up just to extend that lead, again, as we talked about at the start of the day, different situation to HOWL. There's no slot for them that is a guaranteed place at PGC like there is for MEA, so every little point that they can gather, every placement that they can climb up the standings is a big one, and it's really good to see that finally we're getting to see some of the Exalt that we expected, that we all put in our fantasy teams and regretted it immediately.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make more of it, or it's just a one-time thing. Circle, in the meantime, hot swings down towards the south. I think that's why you see FUT instantly as they see that swing go, wait, should we stay here? Because half the circle is going to be, as you can see here, the big red line. Very unplayable, very much unreachable. This game is having us play on, I mean, a half circle effectively in phase 2 already.
DA have managed to find a way to make a wrap rotation to the southern side of Studio, which I don't think I've seen a pro player in that position ever on TAEGO, so that's always new, and we do like the new experiences. T-Bone not going to be a big fan of that experience as Klim catches him out from an angle that he just was not expecting, leaves Vard alone with 2 pushing him. Support from range, but he has to do this himself up close.
Yeah, T-Bone. No, I mean, I get that they were trying to play kind of a 4-man spread position there in that fight, but they know that there's 2 down already. Might as well just sit in a more tight 2-2, so even if you do get 1 knock, you can instantly have 1 come trade, instead of now, they get 1 knock, now the rest should potentially come through, and they've lost 2 players in the 2v4, so shouldn't be happening at all, especially when you have the info already that you're up against just 2 opponents.
8C's wrapping around on the low ground. If Beamy's grenade will land well and get the re-knock onto Klim, that could be huge. It does, and now Aina knows that his days are numbered unless he lands the mother of all AUG. Red dot sprays, not going to be the case, but the grenade does land. He maybe gives Beamy a little bit of a sweat on the brow for now, but he does get it done. 4 kills on the board. He claims all of them. That has been what's been working out for them, keeping themselves 4 strong, not taking those reckless early game fights. As we may just be seeing from Vascu, a quick little drift around the side gets him out of line of sight. These are not so lucky.
Nope, not able to get out of that one, but neither is Phil first. Now, kills do come through, so Best of Luck should be able to get the rest of it over, and question mark, they're just unstoppable at this point. I mean, they, even when fights seem to, at least for a brief moment, go against them, they just rug up, and they take out the opposition.
Evas, actually, that's been costly for him. He has been sat down. Big engagement on the eastern side of the zone, but Wu is getting active. They're pushing out. They're third-partying into this. They're feeling confident right now. 5 kills on the board already, and DA doing even more damage onto Entropiq. They're getting more aggressive. They're pushing forward. They're giving space for Wu to push in behind.
This almost looks like ERANGEL. If you don't know the layout of the land, might as well have been.
ERANGEL with trees.
Yeah, exactly. As DA are getting torn by multiple teams now. Again, that's the issue where you approach on one side, and then all of a sudden you get shot from the other because you haven't had time to fully estimate where all these threats are coming in from. Now, DA, 2 more go down, and Lyron, solo player left alive, won't even get that kill, and that should be, yes indeed it will be, DA out in the living.
Yanu getting his kills on the board. He has been the new pickup for Wu that so far has struggled to find form in a lobby of this caliber, but now Wu with 8 on the board. They've already crept up a couple of places. Acend have looked to make their move, and they're getting encroached upon quickly by Navi and Exalt. Very difficult to keep yourself alive, especially with the threat of Sarvam lingering just off to the east.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Multiple teams here out on the western edge of the circle, but Sarvam still has yet to do anything to show that they care about this fight. I mean, still sat all inside the compound, not wanting any piece of anything. So clearly playing it very passive now that they know they're currently sat within PGS 2 qualification.
Then maybe I might consider just backing off if they got breached by a team, but getting breached by 3, I think 100% the correct play is just to let them fight between them before you even consider making any sort of aggressive play. Chris couldn't quite get the spray up the hillside, so Mika has fallen down, but it is traded back. Exalt losing members as well, but Molodox, again, has finally come alive. I know he has been ill over the past couple of weeks, so hasn't been up to 100% form, but finally we're starting to see glimmers of the man that was so magical earlier this year.
Exactly. Entropiq eliminated. They can only match it that multiple teams will follow in the next couple of seconds as Navi, again, try to get a foot in this circle, but so hard to go anywhere with teams all around them. Exalt trying to wrap north around here. Instantly shot at though as they try to make a move.
Mark struggling to find an angle to third party this. They're looking, but they just can't quite seem to get it. So it is just going to be a bit of a brawl to the death. And actually, that folded shield denying Kilyakai the chance to get a point. So Uber will take it instead. Kilyakai just gets the one. But it's Navi. The extra kill on the board and the placement point to go along with it. That is a very top-heavy leaderboard in terms of who's still standing, but Acend heavily wounded, FUT Esports on their last legs as well, and Sarvam 4 up in the compound still, yet to make any sort of move, but they are now starting to flex their positioning, looking for the remnants of that big engagement on the west.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine to try and go, and if not aggressive, then at least start looking on over, see what they can find. They've seen so many kills in and around the area they find themselves in. Shots coming through from Uber. Exactly, nice battle back and forth. One headshot returned, but in the end, Uber will come out victorious. Knock comes through, and does that send Twisted Minds down? No, it doesn't. They're still hesitant.
Oh, I don't know. They're considering it. Petulance is driving this way. It's actually the shots from HOWL that maybe are forcing his hand to make a move to the south, but it's either way, it's horrible timing for Uber to have found that knock from all the way across the opposite side of the zone for the Wu. But for now, the push doesn't seem to be anything overly aggressive. No helmet for Kilyakai, but does that matter? Oh, one little quick tap. One quick tap is all it takes for Chris to go down too.
Trying to do the wrap around, down to just one hit. Not going to happen. Acend falls, and what better team for Sarvam to eliminate than Acend? Able to rack up some extra points with it too, as they try and separate themselves even further from all the teams in the hunt.
Eventually, Twisted Minds encroaching on the south. Well, they had to run into the Wu eventually. Ibi is the one who is straggling a little bit behind the rest of the squad. In grenade range of Spyro is never a great place to find yourself. And the rest of the team putting in some suppressive fire from up the hill. It's not going to be enough to prevent Twisted Minds from picking him off. Actually, the Mad as well has made a push from the compound where HOWL was putting a lot of pressure into Twisted Minds. He's found himself an off angle that they may not expect.
Yeah, Circle swings down towards the east, so Sarvam for the first time now will have to make a move. They got massively rewarded for an early commitment on the rotation. And now they will have to try and make a play in this direction. They have a fight happening just south of them with now knocks on both sides that you could only imagine they'll try and get something off of. And there you go. First knock for Global Army.
Now, how many grenades does Beamy have left as well? He had a couple earlier on, and now he knows 100% who this team is and who it...
Yeah.
They are both teams that need to be eliminated. But I think he might just be happy to sit back and play passively. Sarvam, they tossed in a grenade, but they actually have gone back now to loot one of those notorious TAEGO drops. I don't think you get any grenades in those, but you definitely get the weapon and armor upgrades for sure. Will make them just that little bit more confident now when it is time to finally get out of the compound and activate and contribute to some of these fights.
Question mark. Trying to figure out, do we leave now? Do we give the space to Navi? The thing is, then where do they go? They've only been looking west for the last while here. And I feel like they kind of have to continue doing that. Zuba does find the knock. Spiro there to steal it away. But at least that's one player eliminated. That's maybe Navi finding space on the southern side to wrap around.
The big difference is the way that the next few minutes will play out. Perfectix getting sat down from distance by HOWL, and Navi losing out to Nixie prone in the bush. Didn't accidentally run him over this time. 9 kills for HOWL. He's the last man standing, but it's been a big points gathering game for them, to say the very least. And now with Melst being sat down as well, Uber has a 1v1 to try and keep Navi in the game.
Should be able to get the res up here. As far as I can see, Twisted Minds does not have angles to work with. Schiller Gets taken down to low HP, but so does a doozy. Has to back off of that one. Can't really commit too much to it. And again, apologies for the rubber banding. It should, as far as we know, only be on the side of the production and not something the players are experiencing. So at least there's that. But it is being worked on to try and be fixed.
Shillo, the P90 in hand is never... it's a very quiet sound, but it's never a sound that you want to hear. Those bullets flying towards you. But actually, with question mark outlasting Navi, they have a chance to try and make a peek over. It's just not working. CCI next with one knock and almost a second as well. And now the grenade spam from Sarvam they've been holding on to for so long will come through. And another knock onto a doozy.
Yeah.
Soften them up well enough.
Right now, Beamy is proning this one out, allowing this action to unfold before him. Else, oh no, best of luck. Still alive with just 1 HP. That nade, though, is close. Is it going to find him? Yes, indeed it will. Sarvam completely annihilates question mark our first place team, and Sarvam will have none of it.
What did we say the average points was for Sarvam on TAEGO earlier? 14.5, the highest average points on TAEGO of any team in the lobby.
We'll see if they can bring this one home or not. They do still have to worry about HOWL on that northern side. It's there now, kind of infiltrating the line. Skiller does get taken out in the end of it, and now Laza finds the double. Oh my lord, I'm not sure if he was even aware that he got that one over the top, but able to do so, and Sarvam will fall. Twisted Minds got second place in the previous one. Here they are again, but this time around, low in numbers. They're in a 3v4 against HOWL. And as soon as you peek out one shot and you are down, nice throw on that one, though. The blue zone grenade completely catching Sparrow off. Lou is there to respond. Batulin finds once more as well, so it's now a 2v2. Oh my god, Batulin starting the spray before it's even scoped in.
Allegedly, on our screen at least.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was just going to say that must have been on our part and not on theirs, because that looked absolutely insane. Now, you can see here, Matt just reloaded, but still 14 bullets. There you go. Now it's higher. So again, there is some lag on our side. What you see here is might not be what the players are experiencing, but Matt in a 1v2. Prone down, ready for the push to come on over. The flash comes through and Ruin, and now they spot him over the top. Do they get the kill with him? And yes, they do. Twisted Minds out victorious with 14 kills. Not fun at all. When all you have to play is dips, you really got to make the most of it and enjoy the fact that everyone is at a distance. Mortals sure would mitigate that. In the meantime, now chaos commences in the open fields as everyone is trying to rotate towards the southeast. There are only so many angles to approach it from. And as you can see here, a lot of casualties coming through already.
Higher ground for Vard, maybe, if he commits to the send. It doesn't even need to. T-Bone's got the knock for him, so 8C can get in there. Run over Moloduct. Or spray him down.
Absolutely perfect approach there. Finds the kill. And here comes Sarvam trying to play Sender against DA, the other team that likes to play Sender.
And everyone was shocked to see it, but it is, of course, going to be a complete brawl between the two. And FaZe now being set up on the eastern side, high ground above prison, would be more than happy to farm any third-party points they can get from this as well.
Sure would. See now, this, the rev round comes through. Global Army. It's just going to be a one-point game here. It wouldn't be the way they wanted it to, but it is going to be just that. Sarvam in third. This is not what they would want to have happen with just 2 more games to play after this one.
Well, now is the time to capitalize for FUT, but unfortunately they've got 2 knocked and they're going to have to leave them behind as they're just in the middle of nowhere. It's Artix, he's playing a disgusting lurk angle miles away out in the blue zone. Why in the world would there ever be a player there? And it completely caught FUT Esports off guard as they made the commitment to looking to take this compound away.
Third parties,
so many nades.
It's not looking good, and somehow none of them are finding anything.
Noodling slightly on the throws. Need to get maybe 5-10 meters further and they might just trickle down into the bowl, but they can't quite reach. And the long-range sprays are coming in. It's HOWL over the top of Yeppa, who's actually doing the damage and kind of saving them right now. Navi, too, denies the revive. And hello, my bad. He's got no smokes left. He can't even get the revives. He just has to go. He might just try and run over Yeppa and see what happens.
Yeah, trying to get out of there. Ain't gonna happen, though. Example ready and waiting for that one as Navi continues to clear out the west side, and Uber swings around and instantly after Voltimund falls.
Gotta love how prepared Odin Mavisi is for anyone to attempt to breach him. He's got a bolty and a double-barreled shotgun, but James has an off angle with an AUG, and that's gonna be big knocks onto question mark. 3 down already. The last man standing, a doozy, who's up on Pride Rock, but he can't find anything. I mean, he might just have to. He's got very little options.
And parachute, and he does just exactly. Try and put Jameson with some of these off-angle positions to really capitalize and really kind of take down players fast. And here, works out perfectly. Christo wraps on over, finds one, corrects the instantly there to trade, but now Mika pushing up from behind. Has eyes on one, but also alerted the rest of FaZe to his position.
And it's Entropiq again that's doing damage onto FaZe. Tags down from range onto Gustav, gives Mika an opportunity just to soften him up. The final bullet. Teams
kill him. It's the last player alive.
He's not the last man standing. Revives have come through, so Mika will eventually find himself in a 1v4 if he doesn't get grenaded out before that can even happen.
Seeing that, but in the meantime, now Entropiq, as you said before as well, have started wrapping their way up this hillside. Mika looks out for a second, gets his eyebrows blown off, and goes back into healing again. Makes perfect sense.
So let's say they get a 10-kill win. That's half the gap at least. That's going to have been closed. Mika, he has to try and dip and dodge and get out of the way, but he's got a long way to go before he reaches that white circle of safety.
From a full FaZe straight into a full Ascend. I was just going to say, it's just a matter of what team gets the point, and in the end, it will be FaZe. I suppose that's the better team to give it to, considering they're not a threat.
FaZe may be grateful that they're not having to remain in this position as they were earlier on. It's HOWL that's on the receiving end of just tons and tons of grenades that are flying through, vehicles exploding left and right. The Mad has a bit of an off angle. He has made his move over towards the artillery. But how the artillery is just bombarding Schofield. He has no chance of even trading that.
Not at all. As I say that though, enough does come through. Ruin able to find Vasco. That's the ankle onto Mouse as well. Actually, no, it's going to be from behind. Ivas able to help out, and now the points are getting stolen away from them too. So HOWL really wanting a whole lot more than what they're giving right now, but at least they're staying alive. A lot of points coming their way, actually. I thought one more would be stolen, but no, they get 3.
Big denies as well for Monarch, one of the teams that really would have needed to start stacking things up if they wanted a chance, but not to be. They are denied by HOWL. This was one of the big strengths. Again, when they found themselves in central positions, they were very difficult to dislodge, and still proving that that is still the case, despite the fact that they're down in 12th.
Here comes Entropiq, wrapping over the backside. I think FaZe thought they were going to play from down below, but peeking up from behind, able to take out one that's corrected down. Yep, exactly. 10 apiece for these two invited teams, the two GPT teams, as Navi now, again, breaking into the triple digit. We had our questions on them. We didn't know exactly what we were going to get. Again. But once again, they just never disappoint.
Alia, please, do it again. No, come on. Mexi, up and above FaZe. Surely they're just going to get cooked in this little bowl. James, no chance of getting a backstab this time around. So it might come down to the final game for positioning, but teams like FaZe and Navi, they're just sort of going to push those down. If they're the ones to overtake Savum, that's totally fine from their perspective. But if FUT, who's only a couple of points behind FaZe, if they overtake Savum, then we're in problem territory. So it's very dependent on how the next game goes.
Definitely. He actually hits it in stride. Schofield, no chance to stay afloat on that one. And we said it coming into this game. I said we know Navi.
Yeah, everyone contributing, but Mel's doing it in the most, effervescent style, maybe. I mean, if he was getting the full damage stats for the actual damage that headshot just did, he probably would have doubled that 400 plus. That does like 500 damage AWM headshot on a level 2 helmet, but unfortunately just gets the 100, but he'll take it. That's a freebie on the board for Navi, and their 16th kill of the match as well. How many times are we going to have to watch this team climb back up the standings late into a tournament and put themselves in a dominant spot?
Through the edge of the smoke finds Mexi, tricky angle to hold, but commits to it regardless, even after taking damage. And now, I mean, as we saw with Navi, they're running low on utility, but so are Entropiq. They still have to make a move on forward. Ibis, that is. The ankle from behind, the one trying to make sure that the team has perfect info on the players in front of them. Nail up, finds Uber. Huge. Now 3v3.
Huge kill to take down. Uber has been absolutely slaughtering everyone in his crosshairs with the MK so far. And Evas holding the backline, that anchoring position. Oh, it's so scary to take that anchoring spot. The peak battle against an AWM, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. But unfortunately, someone has to get the job done. He will be the man to try and do it, but it's so scary. Mel with a body shot would sit him down. Uber could just spot it out at any moment.
Exactly. Does Ivers know of him? He's looking up on the hilltop. I think they've lost him in all of this. I think they're underwhere. They weren't looking all the way up to the side, and now they see him. Ivers, solid tags come through on towards Lookarook. Sorry be it. The guy with the closer, the guy to do all the damage up close, does not have time to heal. And there we go. The double comes through in an instant as they peek over. Navi, 20 kills, trying to claim their way back up and straight into the 4th spot.
Yeah, Metrali is holding the angle. No helmet for Ibby though, so that was sketchy. Oh, I love doing that. Punching the window. The bait. Make the bait. You jumped out. It didn't.
Oh.
Drop shot it anyway. Nixie is pretty damn good at this game. Of course. Lamborghini, what color is your...
yeah, my bike is
what color is
black.
Your McLaren?
Yeah, thank you. Go back to the fight. At hand, again, not a fight that's really gonna amount to much in the grand scheme of things. Bottom two teams fighting one another. It does happen ever so often that in the end here, the bottom teams are just kind of, you know, trying to see where they can get. The issue for Exalt in all of this, while in this tournament in particular, it might not look like much. They are currently set at over 1,000 PGC points. They're set in 3rd. Right now, if it were to end this year of play, right now, Exalt would go to PGC as a representative of EMEA.
Okay.
And stop okaying me. It's really important what I'm saying here.
No, okay.
What I'm trying to say with it is, if they just keep kind of messing around with this and not try and claim as many points as they can for the last couple of games, they might not get anything out of this this one. They're going to get 20 points off of this. And then I don't think that 1,020 points is going to be enough, especially looking at how many teams up in the top that needed the points that are currently looking to get them.
So we're sandbagging to hide the strats. Definitely no longer the case, and now that Navi has cleaned up another kill, they're tied on points with Sarvam, and it looks like they might just get the overtake very soon.
It's almost as if they know where he is. And the amount of damage coming through now. Again, as long as Navi can do this without taking any casualties, which they can, they should be all right.
Dangerous pull-up for Klim as well. I'm not sure they were 100% certain that this position was occupied. The rest of the squad not really in the best of spaces to scout this. Oh, but Vascu, well, that grenade was in the best of spaces. Just sent the car flying, but crucially took Klim down. Now the rebreach is coming through before the full regroup, but it doesn't matter because it's Scav and Vascu, the two that have been contributing for Monarch, and it's too much for AfterAlt.
A lot of damage coming through there, and as you said, I mean, AfterAlt just not in a position to really do anything in response to that. Circle towards the east we go. Interesting. Woo, DA, Twisted Minds, Howl, blessed with this one. We also know for the rest of them, it's going to be very difficult waters to have to traverse.
Yeah. Now up on that Q fight as well, you can see on the map Entropiq in similar fashion to what Navi were doing. They're hearing the fights, they're thinking we need points. They're going to try to look for some third-party angles, and FUT up on Everest as well. They're trying to contribute as well, so whoever comes out of this fight is going to be under line of fire, but it's actually just going to be destruction between the two. A post-mortem grenade from Hibako takes Mouse down. Potential rebreach. Okay, nail up. Get absolutely sat, son.
Yeah, there are times where you feel like, yeah, I'm gonna pull up and do something cool, and then when the first bullet connecting on you is a headshot, you go, damn, this was a mistake.
Every time.
And then that's when he knew. Yeah, they're taking their time, but that might come to bite them. Now they are inside the circle, so at least that time won't, or that pressure won't be as evident any longer. But as you were saying, Howl did push on over. Matt finds the first one. Yep, Uber down with low HP, staying alive. But the issue is Mel can't really see any of them. His position ain't helping out a whole lot, and that's going to be the downfall of two.
Ooh, the nade didn't quite get the bounce it needed. That would have landed right at the feet of Mel, or at the chest, because if he's continuing to prone. They have made the full send push over the street to really commit to this fight into Wu, but now it's Entropiq who have an off angle that they just were not ready for. And Navi's down to a single player standing. Sarvam, from their position in the dip, it's not great, but there's a good chance now that they reclaim their spot in the top 3. Actually, DA is doing damage from the north into FUT, so buying some time for this position to be survivable for now, but it's going to have to be a prone job until the smokes get up. And Yeppa, if they have grenades, just buy themselves a little bit more time.
They do. Smokes lobbed over, everything lobbed over as they try to make something happen here in this really, really weird position. Acend is in the buildings on the southeast side as well. Could become an impact here in this fight to come.
Oh, big grenades. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Sarvam playing in the dip, question mark just on the other side. Somebody had to just toss 2 grenades over. That is huge. FUT Esports. Oh man, they're just getting farmed somewhat. 80 going down from the zone. On the opposite side, they've got DA, they've got Twisted Minds.
We're seeing this right now. They really just want to throw him down and wait this one out. Issue is on the side of the circle, but there's way too much going on. Vart confirmed. T-Bone is alive, but Huth is creeping up behind him on this hillside. Does he get to make this run for free? Does he get to go up here without being taken down by everyone else? I'm not sure. It shouldn't happen, but it just might.
Kill feed is all over the place right now. Good luck to any kill feed counters in the game. Mimi is down. T-Bone is gonna follow him as well. It's a 1-point game for FUT. It's a 1-point game for Entropiq. There has been minimal movement.
Wow. This is the best case scenario for Sarvam. They fall without anything, and FUT and Entropiq go right behind him. It's only Acend now that really have a lot they can claim off of this. And so far, they're in a very good position to do exactly that. Brexco is a bit off on the side here, but they have all 4 alive and a good chance to make something happen in this game. Mark should be within nade range as well as they do find Batulans on their go.
QM is farming everyone. How? Are they up on top of the ridge? Are they really that confident that no one's going to peek them from behind? How are they getting angles on everything then? Everyone's just peeking over the top, and Voldemon getting in behind Acend. He's taking Micah down. Chris has to find him with his nade.
Acend needs to get as many points as they can here because they know that making it out of this position will be practically impossible. Voldemon peeks on over once more, able to get the knock on one, but will be taken down in return as Schofield, of all players from the eastern side, will be the one to find him.
I mean, Acend, they get the placement point and they survive, but they don't get much more than that out of it. It might just be like a 2-point game for Acend. They're the only team other than Navi to not be in the zone right now, and as Dante just gets the re-knock onto Chris, they get 1 extra placement point that climbs them above Entropiq, but that's going to be it for Acend.
If you're Sarvam, do you hot drop FUT next game? Is that too greedy? It might be too greedy. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see as well. Twisted Minds continue to do what Twisted Mind does, which is cleaning up the rest of the lobby. We do still have 1 HOWL player alive and Wu on the hillside alongside both Question Mark and DA and Dips. But right now, off of what looked like an impossible breach forward, Twisted Minds has been able to get some sort of footing in.
90 sprays, again, you would expect SMGs over this sort of distance to be a liability, but they're far from. Dusting the spray damage from decent range, but
the vehicle explosion
with an AUG. The vehicle knocks over Dante, and Lyron on the up above is actually doing what he can to even the odds.
Here's the pull-up, comes over the side, doesn't catch him in time. Best of luck, able to prone down behind the vehicle, and for just enough time, force perfect the other way. Now Lyron comes to one. Oh, 3 points. Well, I'll take him. That's a double for DA.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a long way to go before
you say that.
A
wild run. A wild run for DA, who are continuously racking up points here. Of course, placement points and kills combined. If they come out and win this game, they're going to be close to FUT.
Add them to the mix, I suppose.
Yeah.
Why not? Unless Lou can do something about it from behind. He's pretty low health, but he's looking to just grab the flush while he can. Quizzy, of all people, will prevent it from the opposite side, but he does eventually get the bleed out, but that just makes it a little bit easier, maybe for the Wu.
From Quizzy, he cannot overstep. He has to wait to be in a position from where Nixie can apply suppressive fire. Only boosters working for Nixie now. He has taken some damage, and now the run comes open, but he's spotted in the open. Nothing he can do as DA finds the first.
Picked up the shield. He didn't have it deployed in time. Lyron with the peek over the top. And once Nixie's taken down on the back line, there's no threat to take the 2v1 peak. 10 kills. Digital Athletics with 10 points alongside it. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, not necessarily an active decision in which team they wanted to take the fight to, but it is after all that they're going to be going up against. And Schofield, well, I guess for Ibako, that one doesn't come in easy.
For that one, he had to work for that one as well. Hibako. Okay, putting some hurt onto Howl, and the Ainen is there to finish it off, regardless of whether Klim is there. Hopefully his tires will be safe.
Oh, a shift. What a shift. So our eyes are still on this fight happening on the other side. Then the loss falls down. Again, in the end, this fight might not be a big impact one, but Exalt, I mean, they came out with a 13-kill win in the low bracket game when they needed it. This might get to shoot them up the leaderboard even more, because it is the team right in front of them they're taking out. But this circle up towards Yesnaya will have everyone full speed sending it in this direction, FUT being one of them.
It's just going to be one of those games, isn't it? Where everything's on the line. We're going into an urban ending, and BB's taking a flip and a trip in the air. What has just occurred on our screens? He gets out of it. Ibby had no idea what just hit him. He got hit with the moves.
No clue whatsoever. 80 does fall. Nixie goes into an upside down card to heal. As EB finds one. He sees him too. Beamy able to get him down below. 80 has still not been flushed just yet. They might just be able to reason it, but look at this. Now Monarch is pushing over in this direction.
Oh no, FUT making the first entry into the zone. Sarvan playing a dip as well. There's still plenty more. Exhalation and parachuting on top of them.
Wait, are they landing on them? They might just be. I can't see how high up they are. I think the observer is trying to show us, but a little further up maybe than that. As this fight does come through, Hello My Bat gets taken down. That's again Sarvan finding points here. One nade could be the downfall of 3 players, but right now they're staying afloat. Again, the full speed rotate towards the center and prone it out has worked for them thus far, and it does again. Micah, though, finds Global Army. It's only a knock, but it's very hard to commit to reses in the position they're currently sat in.
Not good news for Sarvan.
2-0.
They really do not want to be forced to play this dip, but it's the best they have, really. No, the car's already gone.
No way out of here right now, that's for sure. Good thing for them is that no one really has clear lines of sights on them, and everyone else is forced to fight. That's what you get for getting the center spots. As long as you can kind of outlast the pressure on you, as soon as those circles do start closing in, people shooting at you will be forced to look elsewhere. Alia alone, Navi might not make more of this game. There are 2 players resable, though. We'll see. He can somehow at least get to Melman. Spotted, though, instantly by Spiral.
Knows. He just knows.
Yeah.
He gets the spray into the smoke. And everything should be okay if they can just keep copying the zones and keep their heads down from FaZe.
You'd imagine that any circle that doesn't include Sarvan here is Sarvan down, but of course we'll let the game explain to us whether that's going to happen or not. It swings towards the north, a nice double coming through there from Clem. That should not guarantee Entropiq not qualifying through, then make the journey incredibly hard, if not near impossible, for Naylor. But now he's running straight into Exalt, the team that's been hunting all the teams. Acend that was through this one, but they're not going to be upset about taking down Entropiq with him. So while it looked dangerous in all shapes possible, they actually came out alive.
Really the last team who can put the real threat into Sarvan. But there's a lot of threat now onto Yeppa, and it's mostly coming from above, and a rock might save you for a couple of seconds, but not for much more. It's Phil first off angle and gets it done, but now big engagement as FUT feel forced to make a push in towards the apartments, and Acend are there to defend.
I was just going to say, look at the team they're fighting. Sarvan are clapping their hands, seeing these 2 teams confront one another on the kill feed. They would not have it any other way. The 2 teams on the hunt, the 2 teams the closest to you, are currently trying to take out one another. So, I mean, okay, there's a southwest hard shift down into the city, I suppose. But no matter almost where the circle goes, if Savim has to move, so has the other two teams. Micah finds a double now. Nox come in on both sides here as 2 FUT players fall down. Beamy able to stay alive as the solo player, but he finds a knock return. No, actually, that's the boom from the other side to find one. So both these teams getting taken down.
But it's still 2 players alive, and there's more teams in the vicinity. The Wu will be the first to breach the Acend compound, but wow. Exhalation's coming in at the same time. They might actually just fight one another right on the doorstep of Acend and give them the time to get the revive. Quizzy will go down. Daboom sits him. They're saying, hey, no, these points are ours. We want to be the team that ruins Ascend's chances of going back-to-back globals.
Definitely. There's still a top floor and an apartment for FUT to play. Beamy and Vart, that is the remaining 2 players on that team, but you can only imagine they'll get pushed eventually. They're trying to get upstairs to alleviate some of the pressure, but they're being seen by Monarch, by Exhalation from the other side, and now Scav is able to find Vart.
Huge angle from another building. It's another team that they hadn't accounted for.
Can you get the rest on the staircase here? Find that one angle that they can't get you from, but Nate's being locked by 2 players now. Where do they come through? The windows down below. No damage done. But so far, they have 2 points on the 3 ERANGEL games, and yet no one's been able to surpass them.
No one else has been able to perform where they desperately needed to, and DA will fall as well, as they can't get it done either. I guess we look in the apartments. If FUT was somehow able to kill everyone else in this apartment, there might be enough points here, but Kilyukai is going to have to try and get it done. He's winning the battle of the shotguns, but it's his own grenade. He lives up to his name, and it's to the detriment of Exhalation, but Acend. I have relief.
Yep, it's closing in on placement points, and right now, as we actually get in there with Exalt being eliminated, every time FUT gets a point, so does Savim. FUT was 6 points from qualifying to PGS 1. Now they're 9 away from qualifying here. We'll see if they can make it happen as BB finds the double on the send on through. Points are mitigated, but still a long way to go.
Got 5 on the board. The gap is closing, but they still need 7 more.
Sure do. Sure do. Question mark. Loving Nate's on over. Wanting to deal with FaZe. Have to love him up high in order to avoid those rocks. And now James finds the first.
A bombardment from all sides, and the fights down below are still... Oh, that's big. Schiller, he got a knock from distance. James just exposed too much of himself to the south, and that is the goalpost moving. Not only that, they've overtaken Navi as well, so the PGC point total, or PGS points, whatever, are going to be in their favor once again. Besto can't get the 2-piece, but 1 might just be good enough. And Gustav, he made the move earlier on. A bombardment now. Vard had 5 grenades in hand earlier on. Beam's got 2 as well.
1 nade. 1 nade a little off to the left here would be a team wipe and 4 points for FUT Esports. They're all at half. Now Baron is at full. That's phase 2 sent couldn't have been any better for them.
The big bad format is rearing its head again, it looks like. But Vard with the shotgun. Beamy had a DVS, an even bigger shotgun, but it wasn't enough. Basky's got the same thing.
It's gotta be game over. You'd have to imagine for Vard that nade is up. It's close just exactly. Gets around the back of the wall, but they have to make the move. The impossible move. Out and away from this position. And what better team to run straight into than Savim just on the other side.
Didn't go for the res. Wants to try and get this done. That'll do it.
Needs 2 more and then some. Phil first finds Savim player. They need to get them all down, and that is FUT out. That is going to be Savim through. They had to dodge and weave as best as they possibly could. And despite having everything go against them at times, being the first eliminated time and time again in crucial games, they still prevail. Savim will be our second PGS2 or PGC2 team.
They couldn't have done it with a 0-point game. They did have to do something to get it done, and whether that something amounts to doing absolutely nothing for the most of this game, it's enough.
If Monarch wins this game now, they jump both Entropiq and DA as well. But of course, what better way than have the team that just solidified their qualification come out victorious here. In a game, again, where they needed absolutely everything going their way. They dodged and they weaved and they stayed alive for long enough to see themselves through to PGS 2 and now maybe also through to a win here in the final match of the qualifiers.
Molotov almost reached. If it was a grenade, the cover would be gone. Miso would be fully in the bin, but a doozy has the off angle.
What a game where the two teams to qualify, should Misa fall here, are the two teams to kind of, I guess you can say, victory lap their way into the qualification. That is exactly what Adusi is doing here as he makes his way closer to Sabim, who finally lost one. 40 more PGC points as well, from 10th up to 8th, as Adusi sends the vehicle rolling forward. Global Army down to low HP, Baron P peeks on over. Misa finds Adusi with the nade, and now the 1v3. Sabim, again, against all odds, they needed everything working their way. Everyone were looking at them to be taken down. The fact that they're going to come out and win this game as well, unless if Misa has something to say about it, finds the first one. That was the one with the most HP too.
This would be so... If he wins this game, it's... He's an absolute bully. Let Sabim have their moment, man. They've just qualified to a global. Stop denying it, Misa, please.
Again, I mean, 2 more points is them racking up 40 more PGC points.
Yeah.
You gotta go for it. Throw that pan, get a knock with it. Sure.
That was close, actually. Not too far off. One more headshot will get the job done onto Shilo.
And there you go.
The blue zone.
There you go. Southern Esports, a 4-kill chicken dinner, solidifies their spot and qualifies them through to PGS 2 in a hell of an unorthodox fashion.